I, John C.B. Mendy,
I, John C.B. Mendy,
do swear that
do swear that
I'll speak the truth,
I'll speak the truth,
the whole truth,
and
nothing but the
and
truth.
nothing but the truth.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Good afternoon, Mr. Witness. We have met already. My name is S. Safal, and I'll be leading you through your evidence before this commission. Do you understand?
Thank you.
And I would ask you some questions centering mainly on 7 topics. That's your biographical information, the July 22nd, 1994 coup d'etat, the detention of senior security personnel and their subsequent torture at Mile 2 prison, the harassment and beating of Mr. O.J. Jallow and other politicians at Mile 2 prisons when they were made to crawl, some of the attacks on civilians who were perceived to be obstructing the convoy of the then Deputy Chairperson, Sana Sabali, the events of November 10th, 11, and 12, then the arrest of Sana Sabali and Sadibu Hydra, your own arrest as well, and subsequent detention in Mile 2 prison. You are familiar with these topics, aren't you?
I do.
So these are the issues I would like you to address in your testimony. And now let's start with your biographical information. What are your full names, please?
My name is John Charles B. Mendy.
What is your date of birth?
1st May 1972.
Where were you born?
Tujereng. I was born in Tujereng, village Combo South.
Where did you do your primary school education?
Tujereng Primary School, later to Bakote Primary School.
Kindly allow for a brief moment, at least 3 seconds, between our speeches so that there is no overlap with the interpretation. You understand?
Thank you.
You did primary school at Tujereng Primary School. Can you tell us which years you attended Tujereng Primary?
I attended Tujereng Primary School very late, starting from 1991 to, starting from 1981 to 85.
And then you attended secondary school, didn't you?
I do.
Where?
St. Teresa's Secondary Technical School.
Which years?
From 1986 to 1990, 91.
What did you do upon completion of secondary school?
I didn't do anything. I went straight to the army.
And you enlisted in the army, if I understand you, correct?
Yes.
Which intake did you belong to?
15 intake.
And when was that intake enlisted? Do you recall the date?
Yes.
Kindly tell us, please.
Yes. On the 27th January, 1991.
And how long was the duration of your training?
4 months.
And what rank did you attain upon completion of your training?
I resigned as a private.
And which company were you deployed?
Bravo Company. Then AHQ camp.
Who was the commander, the platoon commander, and the company commander in the companies that you belong to, or the platoons you belong to, for that matter?
Not only one, because it is subjected to a change. Sometimes they will change.
Upon completion of your training, initial training.
upon completion of my training, I was posted to Bravo Company, in which Captain Johnson was the company commander, my company commander.
Who was your platoon commander?
My platoon commander, I cannot recall the first person, but my sergeant major was Ba.
Did you remain in Bravo Company until 1994, or did you have reason to move to some other unit within the army?
No, I didn't remain until 1994, because I was moved in 1993 to AHQ camp.
We are not conversant with some of these military acronyms, so could you tell us what that means?
It stands as Army Headquarters Camp.
In which unit of the Army Headquarters Camp?
I was moved to the Finance Department.
And you worked in the Finance Department until July 22nd, 1994, correct?
Yes, sir.
Do you recall that day, Mr. Witness?
Which day?
And could you tell us what, July 22nd, 1994?
July 22nd, 1994 was on a Friday.
Could you tell us the events of that day?
That day?
Yes, July 22nd, 1994. Tell us what happened on that day.
July 22nd, 1994. Soldiers turned against the regime that was there, that is Alhaji Sadauda's regime, to overthrow him.
Do you know how this overthrow came to happen? Do you know whether there was any planning, how that was done?
No, I didn't know whether there was a planned coup d'etat. I didn't know that. Before the date, I didn't know whether there was a planned coup d'etat.
Do you know a military coup d'etat occurred, of course, on July 22nd? Do you know how that came about? Do you know the genesis of that coup d'etat?
Not that I know all the genesis led to what led to the coup d'etat. But as a soldier and within soldiers, sometimes you hear them grumbling that soldiers are neglected at that time. You hear colleagues saying it, others may not say that, but are you used to hear these things?
Did you hear anything about a plan to overthrow the then government of Sadauda Jawara?
Before 94? Before July 22nd, 1994?
Yes.
No.
Mr. Witness, we have your witness statement, and do you recall giving a statement at all?
I do.
Do you have a copy of that statement with you?
Yes, I have a copy.
I would also send you the signed copy that we have. We would want you to verify that that's the signed copy of the statement that you gave. Can you take a look at it quickly and verify whether it's the statement that you have given?
Yes.
Thank you very much. I'd imagine that the copy you have with you is the same as this one that we have, correct?
Yes.
The question I asked you was whether you had any idea that there was a plan to overthrow the government, and then you indicated no. Is that the position?
You asked me July 22nd.
Yes, 1994.
This is why I said no. But, you know, the coup d'etat starts on 21st.
No, the question is whether you heard or learned about a plan
On
to,
the 22nd.
to overthrow the government.
On the 20,
Does not matter whether it was going to be on the 21st
I
or the
learned
22nd. Don't speak over me. Okay. I would also avoid speaking over you. Otherwise, it would look like a quarrel, which is not happening, and we won't hear each other. The interpreters won't also, they won't hear what we are saying. The interpretation would be difficult. Okay. So let's learn that discipline of allowing one another to speak. Okay? Good. The question is, did you learn about a plan to overthrow the Jawara government sometime in July 1994? And please put aside this statement. If you need to read from the statement or to look at it, I would let you do that. All right?
Okay.
Can you now answer the question?
I didn't. I knew about it on the 21st.
And what did you learn about it on the 21st?
That some soldiers were disarmed at the airport, and they were trying to take over the country.
Do you know who initiated that plan to overthrow the government?
It is after the takeover.
The question is, do you know? The question is not, when did you know? The question is, do you know whether there was a plan, or do you know who initiated the plan to overthrow the government?
I didn't know whether there was a plan prior to that, but I know who initiated it after the takeover, when that was the time that I was told.
Yes, Mr. Mendy. Let's try not to make it difficult. The question is, did you at any point in time come to know who initiated the idea to overthrow the government?
Yes.
Kindly tell us.
I came to know who initiated the plan, and the individual is Sana Sabali and Edward Singate.
Can you tell us how you came to know that information?
Yes, it was a chat between me and Sana after the takeover.
So it was only subsequently that Sana Sabali told you that he initiated the coup d'etat. That's what you're telling us.
Yes.
In your statement, let me refer you to paragraph 3.
Paragraph?
3 of your statement, and I would read it out and confirm to me whether what is contained there is true. Here you say, the idea about a takeover was initiated by Sana Sabali and Edward Singate, who took it upon themselves to invite other members, Sadibu Haidara, Kababajo, Yankuba Ture, and Yaya Jame. Is that correct?
No, Kababajo is not there.
Of course, Kababajo was subsequently invited. But okay, we delete Kababajo from this statement. And it would read, the idea about a takeover was initiated by Sana Sabali and Edward Singate, who took it upon themselves to invite other members, Sadibu Haidara, Yankuba Ture, and Yaya Jame. Is that it?
Yes.
So in here, what is missing is how you got the information and at what stage, right?
Yes.
And it is your testimony that you were given this information by Sana Sabali subsequently, correct?
Yes.
Do you recall when he gave you that information?
No, I can't recall.
Okay. You are telling us about the 21st of July 1994. Can you tell us what happened that day, as far as you can recall?
I was on duty at the Army headquarters when I heard that some soldiers were disarmed at the airport. That was on the 21st.
That's all you have to say about the events of that day?
Yeah, because I was not there, please. I was not at the airport.
What we are trying to get is all the information you received about the events of that day. That's all you had?
Yes, that's all I had.
And did you hear anything else about what was to happen the next day?
No.
Kindly tell us.
I said no, I didn't hear what was supposed to happen the next day.
Okay, again, I'll take you to your statement.
Yes.
Paragraph 4. You said, following the incident at the airport, July 21st, 1994, and after a tip-off that some soldiers were planning to overthrow the president, Jawara's government, all those present at the airport were disarmed, and there was news that those behind the move were to be arrested the next day. Did you say that to the investigators?
Yeah. Yes.
Do you say that here as your testimony? Do you accept that as your testimony?
Yes.
Okay. And you went on to say that those behind the move were to be arrested the next day. So out of fear of being arrested, Sana and Edward rushed to Yundum Barracks in the very early hours of Friday morning, July 22nd, and arrested the adjutant, Sirif Gomez. Did you say that to the investigators?
Yes.
So you knew that something else happened after the disarming of the soldiers at the airport, correct?
Yes, I knew about it. That was on the 21st.
Exactly, and this is what I am trying to drive at. I want to help you to narrate your story. If you don't answer the questions, we would find a way to get it out of you. So it would help and it would be faster if you just answer the questions. If you don't understand the question, ask me to repeat or to explain it, and I will explain it, all right?
Okay.
Good. Tell us about the events that happened subsequent to the arrest of Sirif Gomez.
When a move was taken from the airport and they were disarmed, They let them go. At night, they regroup themselves.
Who is they that you are referring to?
Singate and Sabali. They regroup themselves, come to the barracks. Early hours of the morning, when adjutant used to come very early to work. When he come, unknowingly to him that these people are in the barracks. When he come, Singate come out and halted him and then arrested him. According to what I was told, because I was not there at that time.
At what stage did you come to learn that a coup was in the making?
21st, July 21st.
On the morning of July 22nd, how did you come, or at what stage did you come to learn that the coup that was already foiled on July 21st is still ongoing?
I was at Banjul when I learned that the coup is still going on, and I had to leave my office in Banjul, go home, dressed, and join them.
Dressed in what?
In uniform.
When you are in Banjul,
I was not in uniform.
Just allow.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, we have to get that discipline. You are a soldier, that shouldn't be difficult. Okay, so why did you do that? Why did you leave your place of work, go back home to change in military uniform?
I just feel to join my colleagues.
You wanted to participate?
Yeah, I wanted to participate, to be quite candid.
Good. And when you changed into military uniform, where did you go?
I go straight to Yundum Barracks.
And do you recall what time you arrived at Yundum Barracks?
I cannot recall the time that I arrived there, but I think it's around after 1, 11, 12, 1. I cannot recall the time.
In the afternoon?
Yeah, around in the afternoon. Between morning and the afternoon. Around 11 to 1. Around 11 to 1.
At this time you arrived at the barracks, who did you find there?
I find few soldiers, and already by then the adjutant was already been arrested, has been arrested, and I didn't meet Sana there. I didn't meet Singate there. They've already moved out from Yundum Barracks to go to Fajara Barracks.
And what did you do upon learning that the coup leaders were not at the barracks?
I just, at that time, anybody who comes to the barracks, he will just get his wife with him. That is
his what?
Wife, that is weapon.
Oh, you call it wife?
Yes, it's your personal wife.
Okay, I hope you treat your wife nicely.
Sure.
Good. So you retrieved your wife, and then what happened?
You just move out. If you go out, if you see any vehicle, you just jump on it, and then you follow them.
So tell us what you did upon taking your weapon.
I just jump on a vehicle, move straight, going to Banjul with I think some soldiers, up to Stink Corner, I think around Stink Corner.
Where did you find this vehicle that you jumped into?
Just an ordinary vehicles. We just stop them and then, jump on them.
You commandeered it.
Here, I will tell them that to either drive us. Some, when they see us, they just jump out of the vehicle. By then, I cannot drive, so I was not able to drive.
And who drove the vehicle then?
No, by that, the vehicle that we jumped in was driven by the owner.
And you forced him to take you wherever you wanted to go to at
Sure.
the time. Were you alone?
No, I was not alone, and I cannot recall the soldiers that I was with.
So you went up to Sting Corner. What happened there?
It's where I found Yaya Jammeh and some soldiers with him going towards the Denton Bridge.
Were they on foot or were they in a vehicle?
They were moving. The time I met them, they were moving on foot.
Did you jump out of the vehicle?
I did.
And
the driver turned back.
So you joined the group?
We joined the group.
Who was the leader of the group at the time?
Yaya Jammeh at that time.
Did you see Mr. Edward Singate at the time, Lieutenant Edward Singate at the time?
No.
How about Sana Sabali?
No.
Do you recall how many soldiers were with Yaya Jammeh at the time?
No, but there are a little bit many.
10?
Approximately 7 upwards.
7 upwards. 07 upwards.
Upwards, yeah.
To 30?
To maybe about 15 or so, but I cannot recall the number.
So was it about a section or was it a platoon?
No, it could be a section. Right? It's not a platoon.
And how many soldiers would constitute a platoon?
There are many. There are many.
How many soldiers will constitute a platoon?
I cannot recall now.
15?
I say I cannot recall. I cannot recall.
I'm trying to jog your memory here.
Yeah, I cannot recall.
All right, no problem. So you don't know whether it was a platoon or a section, but there were more than 7.
More than 7 upwards.
But less than 15.
It could be, but it's more than 7 upwards. Because I didn't count them, I don't have time to count them, and I didn't put my attention to the number of people that we are moving with.
So you joined them at Sting Corner. What did you do after that?
Sorry. We moved towards Banjul.
Yes, and what?
Upon arrival at Denton Bridge, we met Armeyago, Suare, who blocked the Denton Bridge. So Major Suare had a good relationship with Yaya Jammeh. They knew each other in Zandam and all those things. They went together, they take a distance, they were talking for so long, about 30 minutes or so, 20 to 30 minutes. And then, to my own understanding, Suare was overcome by Yaya Jammeh. And then he let us go.
Can you explain how Suare was overcome by Yaya Jammeh?
Because he refused us entry, and then he blocked Denton Bridge. So during their conversation, and then the bridge was open, automatically I know maybe Yaya Jammeh had convinced him, and then we were allowed to go to move. So what they were discussing and what he told him, I don't know.
At this stage, how many soldiers were in your group?
This is what I'm saying. I cannot count them. I cannot recall counting them, and I don't know how many of them. But there were many, a little bit.
Did the numbers increase? compared to the group you joined at Sting Corner?
No, as we move, the number increases because they've already get control of Fajara barracks and they were moving towards Banjul. As we move, the number increases.
So ultimately, Suare opened the bridge and you were able to pass through?
Yes.
Right. And where did you go after crossing the bridge?
We will go straight to Banjul until when we reach at mile 2. We were informed that some prisoners were trying for them to be released to join us. But Yaya told them, no, you cannot be released. It's where at Denton, mile 2 prison is where I met Cisse, the former director of NSS, and some senior officers of the prison department is where I met them. And some of them, their weapons were confiscated by Yaya Jammeh, and then he handed them on to me. I was handling them up to Banjul.
How about the officers from whom those weapons were seized? What happened to them?
They were in between us and Yaya Jammeh. Yaya Jammeh is in front. They are in the middle, and then we are behind them.
Were they tied at all?
Eh?
Were their hands tied at all?
No.
Were they free to go away?
They were not free to move away from where we are, but they are free to walk. They were walking freely.
They were captives, right?
Yes, they were walking freely, but they were not.
So the question is whether they were captives, not whether they were walking freely.
No, they of course they were captives. They are termed as prisoners of war.
They were captives, I would
yes.
say. There was no war situation.
Yes,
so
but it's how the soldiers always pretend themselves as prisoners
so
of
you
war.
walked with them to Banjul, correct?
Yes.
And ultimately you arrived at State House. We have to expedite this.
No. From the mile 2 prisons, we walk up to Bone Road. We had a gunshot. We had gunshot 1 or 2 times.
Was that friendly fire or was it enemy fire?
It was not a friendly fire.
So what was it?
It was an enemy fire.
Do you know who fired that shot, or did you later come to learn who fired that shot?
I later learned that somebody gave that order for them to fire at us.
Who was it that gave the order?
That Chongan was the one who gave that order.
What's the name again?
Chongan.
Okay. Who was Chongan?
Chongan was in the gendarmerie. During the amalgamation, he was moved to police headquarters.
Do you know what position he held at police headquarters?
He was a senior officer, though, at the police headquarters, but I didn't know.
Was anybody injured from those gunshots?
No.
And how did those gunshots impact the group that was led by Yaya Jammeh?
The moment we had 1 or 2 shots, everybody scattered, and then, we take positions, and then we started moving in bounds.
Can you explain what that means, moving
in bounds is moving, like few people will move, and then the others will
It was a tactical maneuver,
Yeah,
correct?
tactical maneuver.
One group would move and another group will cover.
Cover and watch, yeah.
All right.
On both sides until we reach this place, Arch 22.
Were there any more gunshots?
No, there were not.
Okay, you arrived at Gambia High School junction,
Yes.
and then what happened from there onwards?
Then we moved to State House. We moved
Following
to
which direction?
the hospital the directions and the main highway, and others are on the seaside, on the beach side.
Independence Drive and Marina Parade.
And Marina Parade and the beach side.
And the beach side. Okay. Which group were you with?
I was with Yaya Jammeh.
And did you make any stop along the way?
The stop that we are making is just only tactical, military tactical stop.
Do you know Ministry of Justice?
To know Minister of Justice?
Do you know the Ministry of Justice premises?
Yes.
Did you stop anywhere around that area?
I cannot recall stopping.
Do you know whether along the way Jame had cause to talk to anybody on the phone?
At that time, telephone were not that much available. I don't know whether he has telephone or not.
I didn't suggest a mobile phone. I just said telephone. Do you know whether he had
No, I don't.
All right. Your group obviously went through Marina Parade, right?
Yes.
And tell us what happened when you arrived at the gates of State House.
Before we arrived at the gate, we were told that the president had already left.
Who told you that?
The soldiers that we met at the gate.
Do you recall any name or names?
I don't know them because I was not conversant with State Guard personnel.
What happened after you were told that the president had already left State House?
That he has gone with, I think, I don't know whether the American embassy or the Senegal embassy towards the ports authority.
And what happened after that?
What happened after that? We entered inside, make a reorg. We've gathered together until everybody comes in.
Do you recall who opened the gate?
No.
For your group to get in?
No, I can't recall.
Okay. So you went in?
Yes.
All the other groups arrived?
Joined, yes.
What happened after that?
What happened after that, the senior guys sit together. They were discussing. All of us, the juniors, were trying to guide the State House, trying to look each corner whether it is safe or it's not safe.
For how long did you remain at State House during this period?
Which period? The period of that day or what?
Yes.
For me, I could recall I only spent there nothing more than 4 hours.
So you went home that day, that same day?
I went home that same day.
And as at this time, do you know whether a government had been formed or not?
So I heard.
Tell us what you heard.
I heard that they formed a government. And before forming a government, there was a push and pull.
Between who?
Between Yaya Jammeh, Sana Sabali, Edward Singate, Sadibou Haidara.
And what was the push and pull about?
Who is going to be the leader?
Do you know how it was resolved?
Yeah, it was resolved. They take everything into military. They said, we are still military officers and we have to work according to what military says is seniority. That is how they resolve things.
And who became the leader, as far as you can recall?
Because when they at first, what they told me, they said they choose Yaya Jammeh to become the leader, and Yaya said no because he was not the one who suggested the takeover. That Sana Sabali should be the chairman, and Sana said no. You are the most senior. You should be the chairman. That was the push and pull. When they selected Sana Yaya Jammeh, then who is going to be the vice chairman? That was where the problem comes from. Singate wanted to be the vice chairman, but because Sana Sabali seniored him, he's supposed to be the vice chairman. That was where the push and pull comes in.
Of course, you told us that you weren't present. This is something that you heard from other soldiers, correct? Indicate by a yes or no. The transcript would not recognize any nodding.
What do you say?
Indicate your answer by...
Repeat what you asked me.
Okay. The question is, of course, you are not present. This is information that you heard from other people, correct?
Yes.
Thank you very much. Did you return to State House at any time after this July 22nd?
No, I didn't.
When was the first time you returned to State House after this event?
It was when I was discovered that I am at GPMB.
I don't understand. Could you say that again?
I said the time that I recall returning back to the State House, it was when I was asked to become the vice chairman's orderly.
But between the time you were asked to be vice chairman's orderly and July 22nd, where were you working between those 2 dates?
At that time, most of the soldiers don't have permanent posts. You just get up, you move somewhere else. You just get up and move somewhere else. But then, you know, I was living in Banjul at that time. But most of the time, I'm always at Banjul police station. From when I left Banjul police station, after 2-3 days, I went to Banjul. I was at the GPMB all along.
What were you doing at GPMB?
That was where I was.
That is where you were posted?
No, I was nobody at that time. Nobody tells you that you are posted here.
What were you doing at GPMB?
I was just there as a guard because my office was just next to GPMB.
So you were one of those deployed to guard GPMB, correct?
No.
You were not deployed to guard GPMB?
No, I was not deployed.
How did you happen to go there?
I used to go and then have nights sleep there.
Why?
Yes. Anyway, that is how I used to be at that place. I will just be at the army headquarters when I'm not on duty. When the time comes, I'll just go and sleep there. I feel it was more comfortable than even the army headquarters at that time. You have air condition all over. So I feel it's more conducive for me to go and sleep there.
I just want to understand what was happening at the time. You work at Army headquarters, and close of business, you go to sleep at GPMB. Is that what you're telling us?
I do sometimes, but not all the time.
Was there a house at GPMB where you could sleep?
No, offices. There are offices, comfortable offices to sleep.
How did you have access to those offices?
The offices were open. Nobody had control over anything down there.
So you just walk into somebody's office.
You just walk into an office that is not locked.
Air conditioner and just
Sleep.
Okay. But where were you working officially at this time?
Officially, when I left Army headquarters, I used to go there, but officially I don't have a permanent workplace at that time.
So each morning, where would you report for work?
There was no reporting at that time.
So you just go anywhere you wanted?
There was no reporting at that time, to be quite candid.
Okay. At what stage did you decide to start reporting somewhere for work?
It was when I was caught by the army commander at GPMB to become the vice president's then oddly.
What were they doing at GPMB?
They came for a visit. I don't know whether he got a tip of that I am there or not. But when he come, I just get up from bed, stand on top.
From bed?
Yeah.
There's a bed at the GPMB?
You can use a mat and make it as a bed, as long as you are comfortably sleep.
Tell us exactly.
There is no bed, but you know, the reason why I said get up from bed is where I slept. That's why I said get up from
And
bed.
what was that?
That was in the morning.
What was that?
What I was sleeping with, or I sleep on.
What you were sleeping on, what was it?
You can sleep from the chairs. There are chairs that we sleep on. There are mats, and you have some sponges too.
Okay. So you woke up and what happened?
I woke up. I just looked down. I saw Sana's convoy enter. I tried to maneuver. He has already seen me on top because I was on top there. He has already seen me. He said, I have been looking for you for so long. Come down, come down. I just walked down, washed my face, walked down. Then Baji was the army commander then.
Which Baji?
Momodu Baji. Momodu Baji.
Do you know what he does at the moment? What work he does at the moment?
Yeah, I think he's the military advisor or so, or something like that.
To
of
who?
the president.
To the current president?
Yeah, I think, yeah.
All right. And then what
Momodu
happened?
Baji. When I come down, Sana told him that I need JCB as my my orderly. I said no.
To who did you say that?
To Sana. I said no, but I have to go and inform my boss. I just tell him that I have to go and inform my boss. He said no.
Did you tell him no? Or did you tell him, no, I have to go and inform my boss?
No, I said, I told him, no, I have to go and inform my boss.
And what did
my
he
immediate
say to
boss?
that?
He said, no. The army commander said, no, JCB, I am the army commander. And from now, immediately, you are his orderly. I was just trying to dodge away from that responsibility. But it is the army. When I say no, I may be charged.
But you already did say no.
Yes, I just say no. But I don't have powers more to pass that. So I had to accept. And then from there, then Babukar Njai was his bodyguard.
Okay. How many days after the takeover did this event take place?
It's almost about maybe after 1 week or so. 1 week or 7, 8 days or so.
Do you know why you were chosen to be his orderly?
I didn't know, but the only thing that I may say the reason why I am chosen is to go by my records, because I was a hard-working soldier, obedient, neat personnel. I am a neat somebody. I like dressed, neatly going to work, and I don't go to work late.
And you are tough also.
Huh?
Tough?
No, I was not that much tough. No, I was not that much tough. By that time, I was slim.
Unfit?
No, I was not that even fit.
How would you make it in the army if you were not fit?
You can make it in the army when you are, sometimes you are not that much physically fit, but you are strong.
Okay. And you want to tell, I don't want to ask you about the difference. So let's move on. You are selected to be his orderly, and you are there with who?
I am there with Babukar Njai.
Which Babukar Njai?
Babukar Njai, it's the same Babukar. You only have one Babukar Njai. We have Babukar Njai and Baba Njai.
Okay. And Babukar Njai, is he known by any other name?
No, he is known as the Chep, but I now understand that they call him Njai Ponkal. But we call him Njai the Chep.
Njai what?
The Chep.
The Chep.
Chep Katla.
Okay, I understand. No Surladal.
Yeah, that is his nickname that we know him of. I'm just hearing this Njai Ponkal within here.
Okay. Do you know why he is described as Njai Ponkal?
Yeah, maybe because his size. He used to lift heavy weight. Maybe
He's
because
big?
of his size. That's why he's called Njai Ponkal.
How do you compare to him in size?
No, in size, before he is more heftier than me and more stronger than me.
Good. And who else?
Baba Njai.
Is he known by any other name?
B.A.
B.A. Njai, right?
Yes.
Who else?
Zakaria Sise.
Who else?
Albert Gomez, the late.
Uh-huh.
Yes, and then you go to the drivers, Dembo Jiba, Alkali Jallow, Lamin Drame.
Lamin Drame. So what were your responsibilities? By the way, before that, Zakaria, what was his last name?
Zakaria Dabo.
Earlier on you said Cisse, so which is correct?
My boss was Zakaria Cisse, so my mind went straight to him. I know maybe you know him.
No, I don't. You referring to Zakaria Dabo or Zakaria Cisse?
I'm referring to Zakaria Dabo.
Good. So what were your responsibilities as members of SANA's security detail?
Our responsibility is to safeguard him as the vice president of the country.
Vice chairman.
Vice chairman of the country.
And what else?
That is our responsibility.
How about with regards to his convoy?
It's all about safeguarding his life.
How about his convoy?
This is what I'm saying. His convoy is all involved about, what do you mean by how about his convoy?
What responsibilities did you have with regards to his convoy when he travels?
Is to safeguard his life.
Besides that responsibility, what other responsibilities did you have?
Is to safeguard his life. We
Well,
don't have any responsibility beside that.
Okay, we will find a way. Was it your responsibility to clear the way such that the convoy wouldn't be obstructed?
Yes.
And with regards to ensuring that the convoy was not obstructed, did you receive any instructions from SANA as to what to do to ensure that the road was clear for his convoy?
Yeah, the instruction given to Ross is make sure we enforce what was lacking in the Gambia. That's number one. Number two, anybody who obstructs us and refuse to get off from the road whilst sirens is on, we get him off from the way.
By what means?
By all means.
Including shooting at the person?
Not shooting at the person, but we can burst the tire of the individual's vehicle.
What about when the person is not in a vehicle?
The person is not in a vehicle. No, that mandate, I have never ever received that mandate.
Okay. You were asked to clear the road by all means, correct? Including by firing at vehicles to immobilize them, right?
To stop their movement.
Okay, we would accept that. And did you and your colleagues do that as instructed?
Personally, me, I did one.
Can you tell us about it?
Yes, we were going to the airport to receive a guest, in which we found out that the flight is already on the ground. We were rushing, whilst moving with our sirens on to sweep the way. From Bova zone, we met, we follow one car that we were forcing him to get out from the road, but he refuses. I don't know whether he refused or he didn't refuse, or whether he had it or he didn't hear it, but he didn't get away from the road from Bova zone until around Cow Junction is where we managed to sweep him off from the road. We get down. Personally, I am among the people who get down, rush on him, and is a person that I happen to know. I yield on them, my other colleagues. They stopped. I went to him, I tell him that what are you doing like this? Huh? I went and then burst his vehicle tire. And then we move to the airport, trying to diffuse the tension.
Mr. Witness, I would give you the warning. We have given it to you earlier, and on several interviews we have warned you that it is a criminal offense to lie before the Commission of Inquiry, and that it is also a criminal offense to give a false statement to the Commission. I'll just repeat that to you so that there is no misunderstanding as to whether you've been adequately warned or not. Do you understand me?
100% I understood.
Okay, good. This incident that you're referring to, do you know who is the person affected, the victim?
I know.
What is his name?
His name is John Jai.
Was John Jai beaten at all during this incident?
I am not aware or remember him being beaten.
Mr. Witness, you are the first to get to the witness. That's what you told the Commission, correct? You are the first to get to John Jai in the car. That's what you told us.
I told you when the convoy stopped, all the bodyguards disembarked from the vehicle, rushed onto him. I sat on them. I went to him and told him that, John Jai, what you are doing is not good. Leave the way for the sirens. And I burst his tire.
You shot his tire?
I shot on his tire.
Yes.
Yeah.
Was John Jai beaten at all?
I am not aware of him beaten.
But how could you not be aware? You were there, standing there. If John Jai was beaten, you certainly would have known.
If he is beaten and I know that he is beaten, I will tell you that he is beaten, my lord.
So answer the question. Was he beaten or was he not beaten?
I said I am not aware of him being beaten.
So do I take that to mean that he was not beaten at all?
Fine. I'm okay with that.
It's your choice.
Yes, I'm okay with that.
Was he beaten or was he not beaten?
I said I am not aware of him being beaten.
So we take it that he was not beaten. That is your answer.
Fine.
No. Is that your answer?
My answer is I haven't seen him being beaten.
Thank you. We would move on. Then how about, was that the only incident you witnessed, that of John Jai?
No.
Can you tell us which other incident you witnessed?
The second one I could call is the last one that I can recall. It may happen that there are some that I cannot recall, but the ones that I'm recalling is what I am saying now. Is the one at Abuko. The one at Abuko, I think, is on Thursday, on a Thursday. On a Thursday, 26, 27, I think it's on 25th, on a Thursday.
Of 25th of which?
January.
Of which year?
1995.
Yes, and what happened on that day?
From Brikama, we went to Sana's naming ceremony. We were coming up to Abuko, where they sell rams. I was inside Sana's vehicle. There was a sweeper in front. All of a sudden, I saw some funny movement. I saw a car that make a U-turn and then come and then pass us. And then the sweeper turned and then followed the car. When they followed the car, we turned to.
When you say we turned to, who are you referring to?
I refer the person that I am guarding, that is Sana, and the driver.
So you were in the same vehicle with Sana Sabali and his driver? And his driver. And Sana Sabali being the vice chairman?
Yes.
The deputy chairman of the AFP
yes.
at the time?
Yes.
Okay. So you and Sana turned and joined the chase, correct?
Yes. Okay. We joined the chase until at Lamen, I think around King's Club. I cannot remember which junction, but it's around that end. It's where we met them. I met them. The escort, the sweeper, already apprehended this gentleman. But by the time we reached there, me personally, I know he was roughly handled.
What do you mean by roughly handled?
Like a gentleman, I know that individual was a gentleman, but the way I found him was not favorable.
Can you cut through the chase, call a spade a spade? Tell us what happened to him.
No, because I met him already. They've apprehended him, get him into the car, but his shots and all those things was rough.
Mr. Witness, was he beaten?
I cannot tell you that he was beaten because I met them already. Sorry, I cannot tell you that he was beaten because I didn't meet them beating him. But I know the way I saw his shot and all those things, it was rough. And he was not like that. I know he was not like that from home.
So did you see him when he left his house?
I didn't, but I know that that type of dress and that type of shirt, a gentleman will not dress like that.
Did you participate in beating him, the gentleman?
No.
We have a report here.
Yes.
It's from the NIA.
Okay.
And it is a report of the investigations into incidents involving Sana Sabali and others.
Yeah.
And the report said that Mr. Ablai Tekanyi, I will just read it out so you would hear about it. Incidents of assault by Sana Sabali. This is, by the way, some of the materials we have received from the NIA. We bringing the original, it would be showed to you. In order to gain time, I will read out what is contained here. It says, one Ablai Tekanyi had been assaulted by Captain Sabali and his escorts at Lamin. You are one of his escorts, I imagine, correct?
Yes.
The tires were shot at, and he was seriously beaten up, allegedly for failing to give way to the vice chairman on the highway. Mr. Tekanyi was charged for the offense of dangerous driving contrary to Section 47 and 49 of the Motor Traffic Act, Cap 70.03, Volume 7 of the Laws of the Gambia 1990. He was convicted and sentenced to a fine of $1,000 by the Kanifing Magistrates Court. This is the incident you're referring to, isn't it?
Yes.
And the report said Mr. Tekanyi was seriously beaten. You deny that?
I'm not aware of him being beaten.
Mr. Witness, are you saying this to shield yourself from responsibility, considering that Mr. Tekanyi was assaulted?
Why will I conceal that?
You may want to answer that question.
This is what I'm telling you. I am not concealing it because I am telling you that I am not aware of him being beaten.
So this report
because
is false?
Huh?
This report that I am reading from, saying that Mr. Tekanyi was beaten by Mr. Sana Sabali and his escorts, which includes you, you're suggesting that this report is false?
For me, I didn't beat him and I didn't see him being beaten. It could be he was beaten before my arrival. It could be.
Mr. Chair, we would circulate the report, but we would not put it in evidence now. We would just mark it for identification, and later when the NIA officials come before you, we would formally put it in evidence. But for now, we mark it for identification. Let the witness see that this is the report from which I have read.
Thank you, Counsel. I think the witness should have the opportunity to see it first.
Yes, Mr. Chair, thank you. It is page 7, Mr. Witness, page 7. Under the heading, Incidents of Assault by Sana Sabali, the entire report is a report of the investigation into the events of January 27, 1995, thus, recase of former Vice Chairman Sana Sabali and others. I am referring to page 7.
Page 7.
Have you seen it?
The incident of assault by Sana Sabali.
That's right. Have you seen it?
Yes.
That is, I have read out only the first paragraph and the first sentence of the second paragraph under that heading. That since the beating of Mr. Tekanyi and shooting of his tires by Sana Sabali and his escorts, issues put in evidence before the presiding magistrate in the trial of Mr. Tekanyi was overlooked. That is the part I am reading about. The important thing there is that Mr. Tekanyi was seriously beaten. So you deny that Mr. Tekanyi was seriously beaten?
I didn't. I said before my arrival, he was already apprehended. It could be he was beaten before my arrival. I didn't say he is not beaten. But I am saying before I reached, he was already apprehended, and I saw that he was roughly handled. Is what I said.
Okay, no problem, Mr. Witness. Put it any which way you want. The point that I'm trying to make here is that Mr. Takagi was seriously beaten, and here you are trying to dodge the fact that Mr. Takagi was beaten. First, John Jai, you said you do not know that whether he was beaten or not, even though you are the first to arrive on the scene. Now, Mr. Takagi, you don't know whether he was beaten. That is where we are at the moment, correct?
Yes.
Good. Let us proceed. Tell us about the woman at Latirkunda Mampatokoto who was selling boiled potatoes along the road.
I am just hearing that today.
Miss Dola Ba was shot for allegedly obstructing the convoy of Sana Sabali. What do you say to that?
I am just hearing that today.
How about Fasise at Mandinari?
I am just hearing that today.
How about the incident at Old Joswang where you are alleged to have shot at the tire of the person driving the vehicle? What do you say to that?
It could be possible, but I cannot remember.
How about the Nyambai Forest incident in which you were also alleged, together with a BNJ, to have shot at the tire of the driver? What do you say to that?
Nyambai Forest?
Nyambai Forest.
I cannot remember.
How about... Yes. So you cannot remember any of these incidents. You cannot remember anybody beaten during these incidents. That is your testimony.
Yes.
Good. Just remember that other witnesses would be called, and if it turns out that you are lying, we have explained the law to you, correct?
Thank you.
Wonderful. Now let's talk about an incident at Serekunda police station where you were sent by Sana Sabali to go and pick somebody and bring the person to his house. Do you remember that?
Yes, I do.
Can you tell us about the event?
We went to work and then close by 9 upwards. We were called by Sana Sabali and said there is somebody at Serekunda police station who was using booths, telephone booth by then, calling the president and then insulting him. We went, upon arrival at Serekunda police station, we explained ourselves, and they saw us, the gentleman. He was at, I think, at the cell or over the counter. One of them that I cannot recall, I cannot remember. We collected him, take him to Sana. Upon arrival, we hand him over to Sana. Sana asked him some few questions. Why do you have to be calling the president and insulting him also and like over the telephone and all of it? The man didn't respond. So he gave us an order to punish him, and in which we did. We gave him a military punishment.
What was that?
Military punishment is what you force individual to squat, to press up, do frog jump, crawl.
And beating?
Beating.
Essentially, you tortured the man.
Even by crawling is a way of torturing in the military.
And you participated in
Yes,
that?
I did.
Good. Thank you very much. We would move on to another topic. We have dealt with the shooting of Dolaba at Latrikunda Mampatokoto. You cannot recall conveniently. Abdullah Tekani, you were present. You don't know whether he was beaten, even though he looked visibly manhandled. Fasise at Mandinari, you cannot recall that. The New Josuang incident in which you were alleged to have shot at the tire of the driver, you said maybe, maybe not, you cannot recall. The incident at Nyambai Forest, you cannot recall. This is the state of affairs, but you remember torturing the person who was removed from Serekunda police station and taken to Sanasabali's house. You agree to that?
I agree to that.
Good. Thank you. Now let's move on to other issues. The security detainees who are in Mile 2 prison, do you know anything about those people?
No.
Did you ever have occasion to be deployed to Mile 2 to guard anybody?
Yes.
Can you tell us about that?
It was just after, I think, about 2 or 3 days after the takeover, and some senior officers were arrested, detained at Mile 2. I was there for almost, I think, about 2 days with them, guarding them.
Did you come to know who they were?
I know some of them.
Who did you know?
Pasala Jan, call it PS. Chongan. I think the present army commander.
What's his name?
Cham. No, I think Cham. Some of them there, but I cannot recall all of them.
Yes. Before I proceed further on that, earlier on we talked about your responsibilities as members of the security detail of the vice chairman, and you told us that your responsibility was to ensure his security. Do you recall that?
Yes, but this time I was not yet with Sanasabali.
I understand. You were saying this is just 3 days after the coup d'etat. You joined Sanasabali after 5 days.
Yes, upwards.
Yes. So would your responsibilities also include, as a member of the security detail, of course, would your responsibilities include having to follow him around wherever he went?
By the time I am selected to move with him?
Yes, sir.
Yes, if I am on duty.
Yes. And normally, how many of you would be with him in the security detail?
It depends on to the move at that time.
If he is leaving State House and going somewhere, how many people would be with him?
It depends on the people that are within on duty at that time. Sometimes you have about, I think, three at the sweeper. Sometimes doesn't have too much of men, about 2 or 3. 2 or 3, and then the rear maybe have about 2 or so. Or 3 at the rear, 2 at the sweeper. It depends on to.
But most often, wherever he went, he would go with his orderlies.
Yes, and
security.
the security personnel.
And how many orderlies did he have?
3.
Could you name them, please?
Myself, Babukar Njai,
Which of the Njais? Babukar Njai?
We have Babukar Njai and Baba Njai.
Okay. All right. Babukar Njai is Njai Ponkal, according to you.
Babukar Njai.
Yes.
And Zakaria.
Zakaria who?
Zakaria Sise. Zakaria Dabo.
Yes, thank you very much.
Zakaria Dabo.
Good. Did you have occasion to ever visit Mile 2 prison with Sana Sabali?
Daytime or nighttime?
Nighttime.
No, I cannot recall going him with at Mile 2 at nighttime.
Do you recall ever being in Mile 2 with Sana Sabali, wherein security detainees, not political detainees, security detainees were taken out and tortured?
No.
So you deny being present in Mile 2 prison on 5th or 6th September 1994 when Chongan, Mamad Cham and RSM Jeng were tortured by Sabali, members of the council and their orderlies?
No, I deny that. I deny that. Mamad Cham knows me personally. If I am there, he knows that I am there.
So your testimony is you are never there on that occasion?
On that occasion.
But were you there on another occasion, not necessarily at night, when political detainees were beaten?
Yes.
Can you tell us about that?
I was with the council's members when OJ, I think Baji, Kama Baji, or the others and other political detainees were forced to give some informations. And
where did this event take place? Where was it?
That was in Mile 2. That was in Mile 2 around the remand wing. Around the remand wing. Empty space.
Can you explain the setup in which this thing happened?
They were called outside there. They were called outside there, and
can you tell us about the setting, the arrangements at the time?
No, they all stood up, lined up in our front.
And the council members, were they standing or were they sitting?
They were standing.
Were any chairs provided?
I cannot recall, because at that time, that space, it was under the sun.
Okay, tell us what happened there.
Yeah, I think the council were trying to force them, for them to give them some informations in which some of them refuses. Like,
first, which council members? Let's get their identities.
All the council. You have about those four. Normally, those four guys move together.
Can you tell us?
That is Edward, Sana Sabali, Singate, Yankuba.
Can you give us full names and ranks, please, and one by one?
Lieutenant Sana Sabali, Lieutenant Edward Singate, Lieutenant Yankuba Ture, and Lieutenant Sadibu Haidara.
These were the council members who were present on that day?
Yes.
Were they alone? Did they come alone? Or did they come with their security detail?
No, they came with their securities.
Who can you recall among the securities who was present?
I can recall me being there, who is John speaking.
And who else?
Zakaria Biye Njai, Babukar Njai, Lama Rana Bari. There is the other council's members, Suso, Churo.
Tell us the full names, please.
Sometimes I may not.
Suso, what was his first name?
Suso, I cannot remember. In the army we are used to names.
What was his rank?
No, they are all private.
Would Al-Fuseni ring a bell?
Al-Fuseni, yeah. Al-Fuseni Suso.
Yes, you mentioned Churo.
Yes.
What was his first name? Or full name, for that matter?
He's Ture. I cannot remember his name.
Could it be Mustafa?
Mustafa? I'm not used to his name.
Okay, it is Ture, also alias Churo.
Wow.
Okay, who else?
And you have Zakaria Dabo. And the drivers.
Let's talk about the security for Edward Singate.
No, I cannot tell you all the security for Edward Singate.
You could not?
I cannot remember them.
Okay. How about Yankuba Ture?
Neither Yankuba and Sadiq.
But could you recall the oddly for Yankuba Ture who was present on this occasion?
Yeah, few of them I can recall them.
Can you please tell us?
This is what I'm telling you. These are the names that I'm telling you. Few of them I can recall. But, I think Marong for Yankuba Ture, Marong, something.
These are the people you could remember.
I can remember, yes.
All right.
Yes.
So tell us how this event occurred with the political detainees. Tell us what happened from the time you arrived.
The time we arrived, when they brought them out, they were asked to stand in a queue, in a line, sort of. And they had some push and pull, because I think they were asking them some questions in which...
who was asking who questions?
Sana Singate and the others. The council members.
Good. And who were they asking?
The political detainees.
Which of the political detainees?
I can recall OJ, Omar Jallow, I think Kama Baji. I don't know whether Kama Baji. I can only recall those two, but there are more than two. There are more than that. These are the names that I can recall.
Up to 10? Were they up to 10?
No, I don't think they are up to 10. I think about 6 or 7 or so, but I don't think they are up to 10.
So what questions were they being asked?
No, I cannot recall the question. I cannot recall the questions.
How did you recall how OJ and others reacted?
Yes.
Tell us.
When Sana said, make sure they crawl, others accepted, but I know of OJ. OJ said no. OJ said no. A force was about to use on him. I personally, who is speaking here, went to OJ, pushed OJ off from the lot with him. I told him silently, please accept what they are telling you. Otherwise, it's not going to be good, because they will just maltreat you. Accept what they tell you. Because I didn't want to say it openly so that they will hear. OJ can testify that. OJ knew me well before this.
And so what happened? Did anything happen?
He accepted and then tried to do some crawling little bit, and then, things were over.
Was OJ beaten at all?
At that juncture, except maybe my pushing that I can recall, maybe it is what he will take as beating. He might be beaten.
Answer the question, Mr. Witness. Did
He
you
might
beat
be beaten.
OJ?
I am not aware of him beating at that day, the day I am telling you.
Did you personally beat OJ?
No. I said I pushed OJ purposely to talk to him, secretly.
So how do you think OJ would misinterpret your pushing of him aside as being beaten?
No, he might at that juncture misinterpret it in a different way, but OJ knows me. And even
we are not talking about whether OJ knows you or not. Answer the question. The question is, why would OJ misinterpret you pushing him aside as you beating him? How could he possibly misinterpret that?
I don't know.
So why are you suggesting that maybe he misinterpreted it?
That's the way, because you are telling me that he is beaten.
Okay. OJ testified before this commission.
Yes.
And OJ said he was taken to the center of the crowd and beaten by the orderlies and the security personnel of the junta. What do you say to that?
Could it be the one that you are referring at mile 2 or no? Or what?
At mile 2, yes.
Then I cannot say anything about that.
Is it, Mr. Witness, that you are trying desperately to avoid seeing anybody being beaten at all by the orderlies?
Not all actions.
Because from what you have testified, we have dealt with about 8 instances or 9 instances of people being beaten or malhandled. You accepted only once that you participated in the torture. All the others you denied as not seeing. I don't know, I did not see it. Are you hiding behind, I don't know, or are you hiding behind, I don't see it?
I am not hiding. I am telling you the truth.
Well, OJ said he was beaten. You are here denying that.
Fine, but I am not hiding.
But you are denying what OJ said. Are you suggesting, listen, Mr. Witness, yes. Are you suggesting that OJ was lying?
No.
Then who is lying?
But I am telling you that
OJ?
I didn't see, I did this to OJ, but I didn't see
I did not suggest that you beat OJ. I am saying OJ testified here and said that he was beaten. He was the only one taken to the middle of the crowd and beaten. Do you deny that fact?
I haven't seen it.
Thank you very much. Mr. Chairman, it's 5 minutes past 4. We're just scratching the surface with this witness. Obviously, we would need him for much of the day tomorrow, if not the entire day. So perhaps we can end it here and he would come back tomorrow.
Thank you very much. I wonder if the commissioners can wait towards the end of his testimony and ask him questions if they have any. If not,
I think if there is even 3 minutes, I have something to ask.
Commissioner Kinte, you have the floor.
Hello, Commissioner Kinte. Mendy, I remember in your testimony you said immediately after you conquered or taken over the State House, you went home, and because Banjul police was close to you, you posted yourself there for 3 days. You later said from there, you went and posted yourself at the GPMB premises. That also you said took about 5 days or 1 week or so. Bringing everything together, you were absent for 10 days before you were finally caught, as you said, and assigned to work with Sana. Is that correct? And hope that's not in contradiction to your participation in the Mile 7 event.
Commissioner Kinte, I didn't understand what you refer to as absent.
Hello, I said you said you went to Banjul immediately. Just you spent only 4 hours or so at State House and you went to Banjul. Am I correct?
Yes, you are correct.
And you said because Banjul police was closer to you, you continued your participation on independent basis, and there was no assignment, there was no command. You even said those days there were no commands. You post yourself wherever you want to be and do whatever you want to do. Am I right?
You are right.
Fine. And you said you stayed in Banjul police for on your own posting for 3-4 days or so. Am I right?
Can you repeat it again?
You said you stayed in Banjul, which was more convenient, closer to you, at least 3 days or so after State House. Am I right?
You are right, yes.
And you said you came and posted yourself to GPMB premises for almost a week. Am I right?
You are right.
Before you were caught. You
are right.
By Sana and Baji.
Yes.
These days together give us between 10 and 12 days.
Yes.
That you were not interacting with the junta directly. You were independent on your own, on self-assignment.
You are right. I was not directly interact with the junta by then.
Fine. My question here is, hope your participation in mile 2 is not within this bracket. That's my question.
If I may understand you right, or understand what you are saying, my participation in mile 2, which participation in mile 2 you are referring to? Because I am asked 2 questions pertaining about mile 2 here.
You said you were posted on guard at mile 2. I just made sure I am very brief or precise. That's why I didn't go into those details. But you were for the first time officially posted to mile 2. Am I right?
1 or 2 days.
For at least 2 days, you said originally.
Yes.
And then, in fact, that has given me another question. How did it come at mile 2 you were posted? You were never posted, you do post yourself. This time they posted you on mile 2. Is it that from mile 2 you went back to your hiding place before you were detected to be given to Sana? Or was it after being given to Sana that you were posted to mile 2 and so on? But still remember this question. Your participation in the torture of the civilians, hope it was not in this bracket of 12 days after the coup.
No, it was not within this bracket.
Thank you.
And the 2 days that I had in mile 2 was not before my joining to Sana Sabali.
Then it was after?
Yeah, no. Before joining Sana Sabali, these two days that I had in mile 2 with these senior officers, it was before joining Sana Sabali.
No, and you dodged once more and went back to your hiding before you were detected?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much. Bishop, you have a question?
Thank you, Chairman. Mr. Witness, you said in your statement, in your speech that earlier on that you voluntarily joined the coupists, and you went through all the activities until you captured State House. And then you spent only 4 hours at State House. Then you left State House and went home. You did not return to State House at least till after over a week or so. Now, you voluntarily joined the coupists. You overthrew a government. And at your success, you decided to disappear from the scene completely. Is that not strange?
To me, it's not strange, because I know even if I stand there, I will not become the vice chairman, the chairman, and all the council members. It's just a matter of conveying people, and then you go out.
Could it be that you just engage yourself, voluntarily in a mayhem at that point in time, and at the end of it, you felt that you have achieved your aim, and then now you can just disappear out of the scene?
It's more or less like that, but anyway, it's more or less like that. After achieving our aims and objectives, the people who are supposed to be responsible, let them take their responsibilities.
Thank you very much. Commissioner Carr?
Commissioner Carr, my question is, how would you describe Sana Sabally as a person?
Sana Sabally, as a person that I know, he is somebody who is honest, religious, hardworking, neat, and dedicated to his duty.
Thank you very much. Any further questions? If not, I guess Mr. Mendy, we would hear a bit more tomorrow from you. However, what would seem prima facie freelancing in torturing is a serious indictment, but I guess we would have these points clarified sometime tomorrow. If there are no further questions, we would meet again tomorrow morning, 10 o'clock. Thank you. The meeting is adjourned.
Vehicles, you are giving it to parliamentarians. Where is the source? The parliamentarians themselves should challenge that.
Yes, APRC and GDC were opposition. All other parties that are not concerned with people, either UDP or NRP or PDP, they are all in the government.
Ay fan si gannaaw wala sax semaine si gannaaw coow bi bëri woon na trop si dëkk bi
man dama against edikani mu nekk $450 man mosuma si àndata du mosuma sa ànda
yow xaalis boobu nu mu fa ñëwee loolu nga war a njëkk a laajte because social security institution doo xam ne social security warut a ñàkk a xaalis yëfi profit social security loolu waxtaani banda la loolu dafa war a automatique
Barrow lu ma ko ñaan mooy na wàcca 3 years am su demee 5 years dafa am problème leadership bu fi bàyyi dafa bon right now amul direction bu correct réew mi ñëpp seen am na disappointment si nguuri Barrow
benn nit mënut a jagal réew da ngaa def li nga war a def bàyyi keneen ñu continuer